Hey Marco, what's up? Hmm. Hey Basti. Hmm. What the fuck? Yeah, I did, and I also did some progress off stream. The thing is that it's still not good. The the mechanism still needs improving. Um, I changed the whole mechanism from last stream. What it is? Oh yeah, it is there. It's still not good. Let me show you what the problem is. See, when this shit is pressing down the latch, so this guy here is still not pressing this enough, and by just a tiny little margin until this happens, you know and we need to figure out why this doesn't happen sooner. There is some slack in the system, and we need to maybe just a black pin here. Maybe just all it needs is maybe just a black pin here, and then it's gonna work. um, I don't know. So let me walk you through what I did to this. So in the last stream, you remember, this was all very very complicated. Yeah. um, it When it was out of hand. So the system that we have here is very simple. So we have basically this guy here that opens the latch, and when we close this, see, this springs in, and then no matter what you do, this is not gonna open. So the mechanism itself is basically mirrored. I mean, the principle is the same as in the rear. But what we need to do now is we need to make sure that when this is closing, that this last millimeter here is happening. This is the crucial part. So just this it goes up until this moment, and then it doesn't allow it. Why? Well, very simple. If I look at the system from above, I can clearly see that, you see, this is bent by the spring, of course. So if we would provide something that would stabilize this, that would be marvelous. Can we do it? I think we can. I think we can. Um, So obviously we are going to replace this with a friction pin first, and if this doesn't help, we are going to probably, I don't know, support this somehow, but this needs to be open because the latching stuff comes here. But I would first try a friction pin here because it will, you know, it will not allow this movement. So let's try this first and see if this helps. Come on. Pins don't want to go out. Hey Method. Welcome to the stream. Did everybody vote for the did anybody vote for the for the next car that we're building? If you haven't voted yet, please do vote here. No. Wait, no. Sorry. Wrong link, sorry. Just let me find the link. Second. Here. Do vote. Still not many votes, so results may change. You have all the time in the world. I will repost the link during the stream again, so don't worry. Okay, anyway, I have now changed this for the friction pin. Come on. Okay. Now let's see if this is any better. The tiny little bit. Tiny little bit. So what we could do, we could replace this with just an axle, and this may make it easier to flip over. Let's see. If I put in here just a 3-stud axle, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna fulfill the same job. But maybe it's engaging a little bit sooner. We have to mount it to the car to see to really see the result. Yeah, well, let's do it and see if there's any difference. Okay. Well, it does close, but I have to press it down here. So if you just bring it close to the lid, it still does not engage. You have to literally, you know, press it down slightly more. And I don't like this. I mean, in the rear, it's you just basically yeah, it has to work the same as in the rear. You just click it down and it must engage. So we're not happy with it. The system itself is sound. Okay, but we need to work on this engagement. So this needs to slip sooner. So one thing that we can try. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. What can we try now? This is something that's just tiny bit shorter than a 3-stud axle. Yeah, you have to, but the reasons for that are different. That's what's bothering me. You don't have to, because on my cars I can, I bring it down and then you can just pop it in. So I would like this to be just a tiny bit better. So we need something that's gonna be just a tiny bit, just a slightly shorter than 3 studs. How would we make something that's slightly shorter than 3 studs? That's the $1,000,000 question. Without modifying bricks, of course. No modifications. So realistically, we cannot even mount this now. I'm just thinking what we could do. Okay, so ball joint is out of the question. This, of course, is the same shit as the axle, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, pretty much. No real difference here. I mean, I can try it, but yeah, no. It's gonna be just harder to pull it out. There must be a combination of something. What about the bar now? Nah, I'm not comfortable with a bar being there. Yeah, front wheel. It will be a pain. I mean, the problem with a car that has front wheel drive is that the steering angles are gonna be shit. So basically, you don't expect the car to corner well. My favorite would be the Corvette, obviously, but we are gonna build whatever you vote for. If you vote for the Quattro, we are going to build a Quattro. No, the problem with the engine part is that it's gonna be 3 studs. It's not gonna help me at all here. God damn. 2 and 3/4 studs. That would be ideal. Then this would work flawlessly. Not even that. I mean, if we would just, come on, focus. If we would just file off the end of this, it would be perfect. But we're not gonna do. Not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. Of course you wanna see me suffer. Thank you, thank you. Hmm. I wonder. I mean, this is still. It's still. See, it is still a slightly bent. So, what could we do that this rubber band wouldn't pull so hard on this and basically twist it in? And this would be also a way to eliminate the. I mean, to be able to engage this properly. Hmm. We cannot omit the rubber band here. It has to be here or somewhere because this has to be pulled open. But there's no other way to pull it open because we don't have room anywhere here. And this is the only way. But it has a very long lever. Very long lever to pull it. Maybe if we engage it here. Maybe. Yeah, but then it doesn't provide any springiness. Then it's not basically useless. Here it does provide a leverage. I mean leverage, you know. Oh, come on, just vote for the car you want to be built. I mean, it's keep in mind we are the car is gonna be a much smaller scale than the Charger. It's not gonna be as big, so everything is gonna be much simpler. Simpler, smaller, you know, less detail. Let's say it's gonna be the scale of the Lego Charger, so a lot smaller than the LP Power Charger. Hmm. God damn it! It's the last bit. Last bit. Always the last bit. This is the problem, you know. When I press down on this, you know, this the rubber band causes this to twist a little bit, and that's why it doesn't engage. See, now it should have engaged already here, but it doesn't because this guy is twisted into the other side, and while here it seems that it should flip over, it doesn't because the whole thing is kind of skewed, and the in 3D space, um, you see this part is a little bit further here than this part, and that's the problem. Um, okay, if this is the problem, okay, let's rewind. If this is the problem, let's do it like this. So let's use this guy. And and engage just the side that it's closer to us. Like that. And now we should get engagement slightly sooner. I don't know if it's enough, but you know, let's try it out. No. I mean, obviously, when I press it down, it engages, but that's not how I want it. Simply because, you know, there will be people assembling this after the instructions, and they will expect, you know, that now the hood is engaging. Now the hood should lock, but it doesn't. You have to slam it down. Now it's locking, but God damn it! I say, God damn it! No, we will have 3 differentials, of course. Obviously, 5 cylinders. Probably no gearbox, or just, you know, 2 gears. I don't know, maybe no gearbox. But we are going to have the engine is gonna be removable, so you can just plug in instead of the engine you plug in electric motor, and you know you can RC it. Hand of God steering, of course, steering wheel and hand of God steering, of course, both need to work, and suspension. Yeah, you know, I don't think the scale will allow us stuff like this. You know, all of the locks for the hood and the trunk and doors. Maybe, I don't know. Probably gonna be too small. Yeah, no, this is even worse. This is even worse. I think the axle here was best, but even this requires too much. Way too much. Yeah. It requires way too much. Because if, you know, if I use just this without the spring, or without the rubber band, no, I just disengage, and now see, this goes as far as I can tell. It locks. No, yeah, it locks better, I guess. Well, we can find out by installing it and testing. Testing is always good. Yeah. Now this, we just basically Doesn't even have to apply any force. Yeah. Okay. Okay. If this is so, then we still need the hood to be popped up a little bit. Yeah, geometry wise, we're gonna do everything. Kingpin, Ackerman, Caster, you name it. That's absolutely necessary. And of course, the Quattro has a very special way of special steering, the Ur Quattro, with the steering rack being on the firewall, and then two links going from from the center of the firewall where the steering rack is to the wheels. So it's gonna be interesting. If we do the Quattro, it's gonna be interesting. You know me. It's gonna be smaller, but interesting. It's certainly not gonna be boring. Whatever we do, either Quattro or Civic, a Finnish friend of mine has a Civic, so he's probably gonna be interested in the model once it's done. Yeah. Okay. So how do we do this a little bit better? The only other option is if we live with us being with this being necessary to slam the hood. That's, I mean, otherwise, I don't see, I don't see this working. Not realistically. We can sit here all day and obsess with millimeters, or not even that. Of course, if this would be a smidge taller here, this would also work, but it can't because it sits here, in here, and I already made this an axle just so that this has room. Come on. So that this has room to sit in here, and it sits in here pretty tight. Come on, sit in here. Yeah, it sits in pretty tight, thanks to its shape, of course. It's a very snug fit. It cannot move. Not up. Come on, not up and down. So yeah, I think it's gonna be about 1 to 10 scale. Yeah. So this is 1 to 8.4, and the Audi is gonna be probably a Quattro or Civic, whatever we do, because these are obviously our favorites. It's gonna be about 110 scale. Yeah. Yeah, but the bistable latch mechanism is exactly what is used in locks generally, and I like it. You know, if we introduce gears here, I know which mechanism you're referring to. If we introduce gears here, it's gonna be a clusterfuck. I mean, uh, watched the last stream. Even then, it was just a bunch of levers. I do have an idea, but no, I think it wouldn't work. No, no. I mean, if we, if we used something that would engage the come on focus. So now we have, now this part engages. If we would have a part like this that would engage the lock, this would basically solve our problem. It's just this tiny smidge thinner that we need. Problem is that how to mount this. How to mount this. Yeah. I don't see a way for us to do this. Basically, we would need a little less material here. But there's no part that would allow us to do this. Not really. Not really. There is a way. There is a way. So we get rid of this. We get rid of this. Okay. Now we put this in and we turn this around. We use this. So now we have the same situation as before. We have this guy that's in the proper position. We still have the rubber band attachment point, and we can try again. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Let's see. Why are you not closing? Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Gave it all the chances. It still doesn't want to close. What the fuck? And by the way, all the videos where I swear are demonetized, of course, because they are not advertiser friendly, judging by YouTube, of course. Despite the content not being for children, you know, that's the world we live in. Words apparently hurt people. Man. Maybe. Okay, maybe. What could be is that if we use the round pin here, it would engage easier. That's possible. Should you get new CV joints? I don't know. I don't know which ones we are gonna use. Do hold off your purchases for now. Come on! Really, I have to press down so hard. Again. My God. Ah. No, this is very hard to disengage. This is unsuitable for our purpose. You see the pin engaged here into the ridge, and then I had a hard time getting it out. Hey Mert, I don't know. I guess we are gonna have to slam down the hood. There's no other way. Ah. Okay. Okay. So, but now that we have made this button mechanism for the hood, so that I just press a button, which is much nicer than what we had before. I'm gonna do the same thing in the rear, because this is gonna simplify the rear trunk lock. Okay, let me see. Let me just check the okay, I see the quattro is leading. Should release latch. This 510 68-73. Let's see. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. I tried something similar, This is basically how most latches work nowadays for the hood, but it's not gonna work because we need, you know, the thing that goes into this latch is conical, and we don't have this in Lego, so this is not gonna work. No, 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 no. We are not gonna we're not gonna change the way the trunk lock works. Just the way we open it. This is probably 5 minutes of work. Anyway, whoever has not voted yet, here is another link to for the poll to vote on our next model. So thing is, ideally, the trunk lock, you would just press something here and it would unlock. Now I had to slide it, and it's kind of difficult to engage. However, if we use a similar approach as in the front, we can basically have just an axle that's gonna push it. Let me show you. So you see, we have this guy here, and you have to press him. What if we had just an axle that you press down, so and it opens the trunk? This would be probably easier. You see, oh come on, this is the mechanism. So as in the front, see, this guy is moving down, and I would have just an axle going through here. There's a nice axle hole here, and it would press on this, and it would press down, and that would be enough. So basically we simplify everything here, which is nice. So we remove this. We need what? Studs wise, we need 1, 2, 3, 4. It needs to be 4 studs high. We're gonna obviously use this here. Let me just check. No. Okay. Actually, we need to use something else because the axle hole is here, but we would like to have an axle hole further down, which is not a problem. There's a convenient place for it. And it's actually gonna be the same axle. I mean the thing. Fuck me. The same thing as we have upstairs. Exactly the same. This guy that just presses up. It's gonna go in here like this, and you just press it down and it opens the hood. I just need to squeeze it in here like that. Okay. And put it in here. see. Ah, much better. This is so much easier to open. So much easier. Actually, we can do it even better. We can use a 3-stud axle like this and this, and make everything just smoother in operation. No, use this. Come on. Why? What? What is? Ah, okay. This is okay. No problem. I mean, no problem. I'm talking out of my ass. Oh, you built the Lego Galaxy Fame. You built the Lego model, the Huracan. And how is it? Yeah, we're gonna use the original solution because it was smooth and reliable. Yep. This and this. There we go. Yeah. Let's see. So very nice. Okay. Fixed. Yeah, perfect. Oh, you made it yourself. See our little button. So like in the front, we press it and the trunk opens. Press it, trunk opens. Zuck, zuck. Perfect. Oh, it was the Sion. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And in the front as well, you see our little friend here. We press it down and the hood opens. Close the hood. Press it. Okay, that works. You bastards. Do you have any pictures, Amy? Army? Do you have any pictures of your model? Okay, I found a problem here. So in order to not do what I just did, we are going to see here in the rear. I just accidentally pushed this all the way in, so I couldn't get it out. So in order to prevent us from doing this, I'm gonna stick this guy on it. Now I can always pull it out. No, you can't share a link here, but you can either mail me or send it via Facebook, and I will post it here. Sadly, that's how this works. Chat members cannot post links. I didn't make up the rules, so okay. So What's left? Not much. Interior, basically. We need an interior. We need to fix the dashboard a little bit more. It's when steering, this is a little bit too wonky for my taste. We need to install the seats and the rear seats, and small things like, you know, the triangular windows here, we need to readjust them a little bit. And of course I need to buy those in black, and we're done. Almost. Yeah, I don't have the link to your channel. And of course, one thing that bothers me as well is the fender. The fender, I mean, I would like to have this closed, but I don't know how. There's really no parts that would fit. Nothing that I could use. Because the gap here, the gap is just big. I don't like it. When we view it from the side, you know, the gap in the front is too big. This gap is too big. And I even played with the idea, you know, of closing the fender down here. Because let's be honest, it's quite a big gap here. But I'm not sure how to tackle it. Not really sure. Obviously, some things need to be considered. But yeah, we're gonna do it. Maybe I'll do it off stream, or you know, can you, Galaxy Fame, can you send me the link to your car on Facebook, and I'm gonna post it here. If you have Facebook, so post it in here, into the messages or whatever, and I'm going to just copy paste it into the chat so that everybody can see it. Okay, so let's revisit something that we have done before, but kind of abandoned because I changed a whole lot of stuff here. So with the roof, let's redo the windows. Let's see, the triangular windows. So obviously the angle is good, but I don't like it. It's, you know, we are lacking space here. 4 studs is too large, and it's always that half stud. That damn half a stud. That's always bothering us. Ah, yeah. There we go. What? Oh, yes. There. Joko, hey. So, what are we gonna do here? So we need, again, 3.5 studs. Obviously. That damn half stud. what have I done to deserve always half a stat challenges? What if I turn this around? Here is the other one. Just trying to see something. Okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, so let's see what flippery hop. Let's see. Flippity hop. Flippity hop 1. Audi Quattro. Let's see. Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah, it's a nice looking model, yeah. But it's nothing like the model we are gonna build. There's literally nothing, not even the wheels that we are gonna use. So, yeah, cute, but no. Okay. Yeah, studs are heavy. That's the problem. Studs are heavy, and for the weight that they provide, they don't justify their weight by being stiffer than this. Because if done properly, I am I mean, I am certain that you cannot make a charger this size and as stiff as this, and as light, relatively light as this with bricks. You just cannot. If I made this with bricks, it would be at least 30% heavier, and probably it wouldn't be stiffer. So, and many solutions that we have here would be a lot more difficult and not as elegant as we did. So studless definitely is the way to go here. So now we have two choices. Now we can fiddle with the small stuff on the charger, or we can see what the scale of the audio would be. Who the fuck wants something? Ah, yeah. Facebook. Just got the message. Because, you know, basically all things here have been solved to a sufficient degree that it just needs, you know, me looking at it and see, oh yeah, I have to omit this pin or this, you know. Um, yeah, I mean, I know all about the Audi Quattro. It is one of my favorite cars because of the engine, I'm a fan of the suspension, of the drivetrain. That's why it's on the list, of course. Okay, so let's put this to the side. And let's see what we can do with the Audi. Okay, now we made this before. And I was thinking, the way we can start building this, let's forget about the wheels for now. Let's build the smallest front wheel drive with unmodified Lego bricks that we can do. And let's see what wheels would then fit the scale that we are kind of trying to achieve. Because the Audi suspension is kind of unique, and I would not want to compromise it too much by limiting ourselves to these wheels, because these wheels are obviously not way too small for what we're gonna do. We need wheels that are a little bigger, and the differential will not fit, and all that jazz. So too many compromises would be made if we limit ourselves to the wheels. Obviously, we're gonna use this differential here, and two of his friends. Obviously, we are not gonna use these here if possible. But 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we are gonna have to use these. At least, I mean. Hey, Luca. Hey. Really? Well, I cannot help it. I mean, that's YouTube, I guess. So what are our options? We have this. Obviously, we are not gonna use the modified one. I think so, yeah. I think so. The Audi shape should be relatively easy to convert to Lego. So now if we want something small, we're gonna have to use these. These, of course, limit our steering angle quite severely. But I guess this small angle is what we're gonna have to live with. If it works on the Lego Land Rover, which uses the same CV joint, it's gonna have to work for us, sadly. Okay, so obviously we need to use these on the inner joints and on the outer joints if we want to make this as small as possible. Because these here just they don't fit. I cannot push them further in, so we have to use these on both the inner and the outer ones. Do I even have enough? Yeah, I have enough for one side. Okay, so we have one. I have just two of them. Need to buy more. So where's the other one? Here. Okay. So this is the width of our suspension, basically. That's the smallest we can make it. So what's the width here? This is 7. Okay, 7 studs. Now I'm gonna build this together, and then we are gonna find the wheels that go with it, without skewing the proportions too much. And of course, this is just making the proportions look kind of right. Obviously, I need to research this and make and find blueprints. Hey Logan, in case you have missed it, there's a poll going on where we are voting for which vehicle we are gonna do next. Obviously, there's a relatively tight race neck and neck between the Audi and the Civic, but you know, whichever car we do, what we are doing now is basically it's gonna be used for either one. So let me just put this side on. Okay. There. So that's the width of our suspension. If possible, I would not go wider. Just, you know, just so that we have a car that it's not out of this world. And this is still a pretty narrow setup that we have here. Let's get the box with wheels out and see what would look semi-decent on this. So obviously some wheels are not gonna be appropriate, like these would make the car way too big. Way too big. The question is, do I even have the right wheels? Because obviously I don't have all of the wheels that Lego makes, and I may have to, you know, buy some wheels. Okay. Do larger tires exist for these wheels? Do larger tires for these exist? Like, you know, something in the middle between this and this. If so, this would be pretty okay. This would be pretty okay. Obviously this is way too, these are too small. And I would like wheels that look realistic, not some balloon tires. Yes, the Quattro has a McPherson strut. Why are you asking? What we have here is not our suspension. You know, this suspension is this is not a suspension. This is just a mock-up of the width of our track. You know, just a mock-up, nothing else. Right now we are just looking for approximate sizes of wheels. I don't know what scale we are gonna build it in. I just want to see what looks kinda right. Okay, so we would need tires that are even bigger than this. Yeah, we would need tires that are bigger than this, otherwise it's gonna look out of proportion. Come on. Ah. Fuck. Okay. Right. If we use these just as an approximation, you know, these look slightly too large or not? I mean, even though these are the same diameter than the Charger, the car itself would be basically smaller because there are narrower wheels and they are kind of bigger in size on the real car. So yeah, I guess. Wait, which rims do these fit on these, right? Yeah. Would the Land Rover wheels design-wise fit on the Quattro? I wonder. Would these fit a Quattro? Because I mean, if we use these, yeah, we can do wheel covers. I mean, we could do something interesting with this because it's a big inset. Obviously, we can play with the width of this, so we can push the wheel more to the outside. For the outer joint, we can use, because of the inset, we can use the big CV joints, which is perfect. And this can be slightly longer so the track is correct. Obviously, it would be smaller than the Charger because the wheels on the Quattro are bigger in the car and, of course, narrower. So the overall size of the car would be, let's say, it would be 80% the size of the Charger. So not very small, but still smaller. And I think, yeah, I think we are going to go with the Land Rover wheels. I have not done a model with an inset like this, so we need to practice a little bit for the Bugatti, because obviously eventually we are gonna do the Bugatti, and this will be great for the McPherson. Yeah, the track looks off because I just bolted those here on this for you know what we can do. We know the dimensions of these. Let's Google the what wheels the original Quattro had, and let's scale them. Let's see what kind of scale we are actually gonna work in. Rally wheels. Which rally wheels? I don't know which wheels those are. I probably don't have them because these are too small. But these are not rally wheels. Because I would like to do the street version of the car, not the rally version. The normal street version. We're gonna see about the color. The color will be dictated by parts availability, I guess. So this would be okay-ish. Okay. Where is my page for the tires? There. So work with me here. So this is a page that I use to measure up the sizes of tires. And if we go to Google and check, let's say 1985 Audi Quattro tire size. Exactly, red would be my preferred choice, but I don't think we can get parts for it in red. Red panels are extremely expensive. So I would probably go with gray, light bluish gray for the outside color. That would be cheapest. I would prefer it in gray, but or white. White would be cool as well. Maybe. It depends on the prices of the parts. It's, as I always say, Lego is expensive, so if you chip in something on Patreon, would make life easier. Okay, tire sizes. Audi Coupe Quattro 205/60R15. Okay, let's put this into our calculator here. 205, 60, and what is it, 16? No, 15. 15. Okay, so 205, 60, 15. So if you well, we're gonna do the coupe, the coupe, whatever you call it, the factory one. Maybe we can dress it up a little bit, but dimensions wise, track width and stuff is gonna be from the stock version, and then you can always add like Formula 1 tires on this and beef it up or whatever. This is something that that I leave up to you. Instructions for all of these models are going to be made available offline. I mean offline for free to you. You can build the cars and then you can modify them the way you see fit. Okay, so let's calculate a little bit. The way I see here, the diameter of the original wheel and tire combination is 627 millimeters. 627 millimeters. The Land Rover tire diameter is 18.6. So 81.6 millimeters. So if we divide 600 and where's my calculator? If we divide 627 by 81.6, we get a scale of what? That can't be right. So that's even bigger than a charger. Oh shit. So the scale, our scale would be 1 to 7.6. So Quattro would be, with these wheels, it would be 1 to 7.6. And charger is 1 to 8.4. So the Quattro would actually be bigger. That can't be right. I mean, well, it may not be bigger because of course the Charger is a large car and the Quattro in real life wasn't as big. Still, it needs some calculation. Yeah. God damn it. And I wanted to make something smaller, you know, just to bridge the gap between models to get some more inspiration. Man. I mean, if we do the Quattro, we in the same scale as the Charger, then of course we are gonna go overboard again with all of the stuff that it has. So McPherson front and rear suspension, obviously the Quattro steering, and on and on. I mean, I'm all for it. If you guys are for it, we can do it with these. And we would do it, yeah, since this is the Quattro, as light as possible. If I mean, we need to get away with as many panels as possible, even more than in the Charger. And because there's no swooping lines as in the Charger, we have to make the exterior of the car, unlike in the Charger, the exterior of the car has to be part of the weight bearing part of the car. So in the Charger, the you know, the all of the muscular lines are basically just added on. They don't provide any structural strength. So all the strength has to be inside, and then they provide strength. In the Quattro, the whole rear quarter panels can be a structural part. So we can do as little as possible inside. And because it's a more square car without any swooping lines or stuff like that, everything is just straight. This can be made a lot lighter. And because the inline 5 engine is, you know, narrower, and all of the steering components are mounted on the firewall, this means that everything in front of the front axle can be as wide as the turning circle of the wheels allows. And the turning circle of the wheels is gonna be, thanks to the insert, you know, we're gonna have, of course, the ball joint as far out here as possible, probably even here. So you know what I'm gonna do, because now that we decided on this, we are going to, god damn it, yeah, why don't we start designing the suspension? So obviously, if we want, like in the E30, like if we want the lower ball joint to be as far in the wheel as possible, the ball joint needs to be exactly here. Okay. There. That's where the ball joint needs to be. So when we make the suspension, and of course our CV joint is gonna be here, of course, one stud further out because of the kingpin, and the kingpin axle is gonna go through this. So something like this. The kingpin is gonna be something like this, and this is obviously the strut, and the strut also mounts conveniently on the firewall, and the firewall is at the same time it's the strut brace. So everything is focused on the firewall here. And if we put this back in, we can see that we have, see, this is gonna be the kingpin is gonna of course make this pivot even further inside of the wheel. So the scrub radius is gonna be really small, and the wheels are gonna have a really tight turning circle actually. Yeah, this is gonna be okay. Obviously now I'm pivoting it just here because there's no structure, nothing, but then when it's all nicely done, there will be a proper kingpin. And of course, since we are gonna big scale again, god damn it, we are gonna use struts that are proper. So obviously we're gonna go with these. Okay, so obviously we're gonna use these springs. Not sure about the how much we are gonna allow them to compress, because we can limit this. I have something in here that prevents it from compressing any further, obviously. So you know, there would be like something like this, and we need to see how much bodywork there is here once this is on right height. You know, obviously this is gonna be, the hood is gonna be just scraping this, and the biggest issue here, yeah, the quattro gets modified parts, fuck it. Except it won't get modified parts if you if everybody is against it. I will respect it, but it's gonna make things much more difficult. I mean, McPherson with these is relatively simple. Whatever else we use at this scale, at the scale that we are going for, it's gonna be either too big or expensive. Because the alternative to this, is obviously this. And even this part here is modified, because obviously this is a locking spring. So if you press it together, rotate it, it's gonna stay like this. Mine doesn't, because I took it apart and removed the locking part. So now I can turn it as much as I want and it's not gonna lock. It's roughly the same size as this. Not quite, I'm afraid. It's quite long, if you ask me. This would make the car, you know, too tall, I guess. Or maybe not. Maybe this is gonna make the mounting of this McPherson strut easier. But I don't know. So in any case, the strut can mount no lower than this, because it needs to leave space for the ball joint here. And let's see where it can be in relation to this. Another limitation. So when we mount this wheel, obviously we need to take into account that it needs to mesh with the axle. There. Otherwise this guy doesn't go fully in. Okay. So the strut itself, you know, can mount like this. It's quite far apart, far away from the actual wheel hub. So we are gonna have to do something here. We're gonna have to go wider, and especially because the steering links in the Quattro, I'm just gonna substitute this as a steering link. So the steering links in the Quattro, if this is our suspension strut, steering links mount in front of the struts. And go to the firewall. And then you steer like this. So this adds further complication. So nothing here is gonna be easy. Despite us going a little larger in size, you know, but no, there's no easy parts here. And of course, this is actually pretty weak. If we rely on just these two to carry the entire upper part of the strut, this is not gonna work. So I mean, this gets complicated so quickly. The Honda would make more sense here, because the Honda doesn't have a McPherson suspension in the front. The Civic would have an elevated double wishbone suspension, and we could use this because it wouldn't turn. You know, then we could also use these wheels, and the Civic would be smaller in size, in scale, and everything. But no, that would be too easy, right? too easy. I mean, at this point, I would consider the Civic, but yeah. Oh God. Yeah. This is not gonna be easy. We have to make, because if you look at if you Google for the Quattro wheel hubs, I've seen the racing version. This is a beefy thing. Like let's try to approximate something. This is the middle now. Come on. Oh, I can do, okay. Just a second. I can do this. Should make it even sturdier than the initial idea. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay. I am experimenting as well, so I don't know what I'm doing, but basically I'm doing wheel hub of sorts. Let's see. What does this say? It says yes. Okay. Yeah, just. Okay. So we would mount this guy. Oh, we can mount him closer. Closer. And like this. Okay. So this can be inside. And this guy can then lean on it, I guess. Okay, so we can make this smaller. Smaller. But not too small, because here we have half shaft here, and the suspension is like at full drop. And if we have this guy here, the suspension is gonna collide. I mean, the half shaft is gonna collide with it. So unfortunately, it has to be one stud higher. Obviously, I need to re-Google a few of these things to make myself acquainted with the Quattro again. But essentially, essentially. See, I have already played with it. I removed it on one side, this little tooth here, but doesn't matter, this is on top. We're going to use the stock one on the bottom just to satisfy the stock Lego parts fetishists. Okay, let's see what angle can we get away with. So we would like to have it as close to the wheel as humanly possible. This would be pretty much perfect, you know, so that we have as much room here between as possible. Vertical would be ideal. I don't think so. Or maybe. What if we turn it around? What if we turn it around? What do you say? Almost. Almost. Okay. That's already dangerous territory. Okay. So this would technically satisfy this. And now we have to make sure it doesn't flip this way. And obviously it needs to have this clear because of obvious reasons. So what we could have here would be this and this. Then we mount this guy. Okay. That is ideal. That is ideal. Because now obviously we need to provide mounting points this. I mean, it's not ideal, but you know what I mean. Okay. So, bummer. This is already looking at as the better alternative. Yeah, because this is just doesn't adhere to any geometry. It's just wide. And of course, then there's this, which is much less here. Yeah, okay. So much for this. I'm sorry. I tried. I have tried. So we're gonna use this. So, but this is much narrower, so we can be literally vertical. We can literally do this vertical. What can I use here? Because I think this is not gonna work. Yeah, this can be, if done smart, this can be literally vertical. That would be ideal. And then the kingpin axis also goes from here to this in a perfect way. This would be perfect and very minimal. So the suspension takes up the most minimal amount of space as possible, maximizing the space between the wheels in the front and the rear. That would be good. And then we can get away with this setup here. Yep, it would be most ideal. But how do we do that? How do we prevent this from going haywire? See, this is one of those moments where I just look at this for hours. Very, very stream friendly content. Okay, so this, if I make, if I use 2 more here. Okay, So we can do this. It's not gonna go into this side. So we have just to worry about it flipping the other side. And this we can remedy also, I think. So we are going to mount it here. Okay. Here. Here. It has to be as minimalist as possible. Okay. Now the mockup, just to experiment. Yeah. Come on. Okay. So let's leave him there. And now I can see if an axle would go through here and locate this. We have this part located. Obviously, we have flex here. Part of it is here. We can do something different about this. That's no problem. There are options available to us. But if we now leave this as is, we have also flex here. And this flex we can do nothing about it. I think there's nothing we can do about it. Because, you know, we cannot put in something else here. Otherwise, it's not gonna, I know there is a part that would fit, but that part has several other problems. The problem is, of course, that then it's too wide here and it's not gonna fit into the wheel. Oh, I hate this. Well, maybe when I look at the wheel hub of the real Audi, I'm gonna get ideas, but for now, this is gonna be it. So, steering angles, as far as I can tell, are okay-ish, yeah, are okay-ish, yeah. You know, I'm just holding these and see what's happening when I rotate this around the actual axis of rotation. And that's pretty much what we want. So the CV is staying exactly where it is, and everything is rotating around the kingpin. Oh yeah, I was missing the red one. The red one is actually in the hub. So around the kingpin, which is of course like this. That's the kingpin axle, roughly, you know, roughly. So maybe, ideally, this would be angled a little bit, one stud further to the inside on the top to make it absolutely perfect, but you know, packaging trumps this slight inconvenience, and this is not gonna be the end of the world. So yeah, this is leaving enough room for everything. Obviously at full drop this cannot rotate as far as it should. At right height, no problem, because obviously this and this are gonna collide in this manner at full drop, and especially because of the caster. I cannot help it. So yeah, this was present. This was present in the E30 as well, and it was perfectly fine. The only thing we have to worry is this. So you see this, and this we can remedy by making this part here stronger, so that you know, the part where it sits here and this are connected, and it doesn't pull them apart. So once this is strong enough. And of course, since the Quattro reused parts from the front suspension to make the car cheaper, the rear suspension is basically the front suspension without the steering. As simple as that. It's that simple. Audi made it that simple. So what we do in the front, we're gonna replicate in the back, only that we won't have ball joints here. We would have just normal pivots here, and this will not steer. That's the only difference that's gonna be between the front and the rear suspension. So we have, whatever we do here, we don't have to re-engineer in the back, which is good to an extent, of course. The lower wishbone, of course, in the back is going to be different. It's going to be angled a little bit and stuff like that. But you know, the main gist is going to remain the same. Okay. So how do we do this? We use these guys instead of those. Yeah, we can do something, yeah. And of course we have to make the mounting point for the steering here somewhere. Shouldn't be that difficult. And it has to be, I don't know, where's the wheel? The mounting point for the steering has to be, as far as I remember, just here in the where the tire ends. Here the steering link attaches just about here. So it would attach here. Approximately. So let's make this a little bit sturdier. Okay, now the issue is, of course, how this is gonna pan out here. I think we should be okay. because these are now not squared but round. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. So we are starting here, here. Okay. Okay, so this cannot be here. We need to go those. Okay, so even though this is still in its infancy, it's okay. So we need now how much? 1, 2, okay. 2 starts and then out. Technically, I'm just gonna approximate something here. It's not, of course, the final version, just where I think we need to have it. So we would go like this, and the steering link would be here-ish, you know? This would be our steer link. And of course, we need steering link that is as long as possible, like this. So it's going to the firewall. So this is the firewall here. And you see, now I need 2 more hands to just, you know, but you can imagine. This would be then the steering. This is how it's done in the Audi. Maybe this can be closer. And of course this needs to be connected to the other side so it won't flap around like this. But yeah, that's the gist of this. Every single time. Yeah, there's no interference anywhere. No. This can be even. Yeah, we can lower this. Can lower this by one stud easily to make it less prone to wobbling. Mm. Yeah, this would be perfect. And of course, the enter row bar would then be basically another steering link, but the smaller one, and it would probably connect here in the back somewhere and go under the differential and to the other side, you know, so that the enter row bar would be, I don't know, where we would connect it, somewhere to the strut. Yeah, and this would then turn the wheel. Obviously, we need to beef this up by quite a lot, so these maneuvers wouldn't happen, and this needs to be as stiff as possible. Probably, I don't know, we're gonna combine it in the rear with something. I don't know yet. So yeah, LP power wheel hub, of course. That's the when you said no modifications. Well, LP power wheel hub is essential here because without this, we obviously cannot do any of this to begin with. And without this, this is gonna just wobble beyond belief. This is now very good for Lego, but if we don't use the LP power wheel hub, you know in the charger how much this wobbles. Anyway, that's it for today. Um, the voting is still open. We are gonna definitely conclude the voting in the next stream, where the results will be displayed. Obviously, I mean, I think it's gonna be the Quattro, but yeah, you know. During the weekend, I will try to finish a few things on the charger, so that we can, say that's finished, and then we can start on the Quattro proper next week. Yeah, JSP, just rub in the salt in the wounds. Thank you very much. um, anyway, check out my Patreon. You know, Lego is expensive. What we do here costs a lot of money. Like and subscribe. Check out my Facebook, YouTube videos. All that stuff. And thank you for watching. And I see you on Monday.